guys, welcome to my first ever dynamic drawing tutorial. Today we are going to be learning how to draw an eye from the side view. There are a list of recommended materials that are used to best complete this tutorial that I will list in the description box below. We will need a 6B pencil, 5B, 4B, 3B, B, and HB pencil. And we will also need 2 blending stumps, a large and a medium. And finally, we will need smooth drawing paper and a kneadable eraser. However, if you do not have these materials, there are great substitutes, such as a tissue that acts as a blending stump, one pencil, such as an HB pencil, that you can create various shades with by using pressure control. And finally, if you do not have a kneadable eraser, you can use any generic eraser, but please use it with precision. To get started, I have already drawn the form of the eye, so if you have not done so, please pause this video. Now I'm drawing the pupil. It resembles an oval shape. I'm drawing it in the middle of the iris. Now I'm locating my light source, which is coming from the top right-hand corner. This determines where the highlights go and where the lightest and darkest points of the drawing are. Now I'm drawing a circular and rectangular highlight next to the pupil. Now with my HB pencil, I am starting to sketch the upper eyelid. Now I am shading in my pupil with a 6B pencil. Make sure to use the blunt side of your pencil to get an even layer of graphite onto the paper. Then, if there are any extra valleys that are white spots, please use the tip of your pencil to fill in those small valleys of white spots. Now I am blending in the pupil with a medium blending stump. I am not applying too much pressure. I'm just slowly moving around the graphite. Please note that I do not blend at the end. I blend between each step. However, if it makes you more comfortable to blend the whole drawing at the end, please do so. Now using our 6B pencil, I am putting down a layer of graphite around the edge of the iris. This is going to be the darkest point of the iris. Now I am just finishing up putting down my smooth layer of 6B pencil, and then I'm slowly moving towards using my 4B pencil, and I'm putting now down a layer of graphite next to the 6B pencil. Remember, when putting down a layer of graphite, use the blunt end of the pencil, and then when there are little valleys of white spots, use the tip of the pencil to get a smooth layer of graphite. Please pause this video if you need more time to put down your layer of 4B pencil. Now, using my medium blending stump, I am slowly moving around the graphite. Don't apply too much pressure. I noticed that my drawing was a little bit darker than what I wanted, so I used my Kneadable Eraser to pick up graphite off of the paper. This is a time that pertains to you. You can fix up any unwanted areas of your drawing, if it's light or dark, and also you can use this as a time to blend your drawing further. Now I'm using this time to darken up my pupil to make a contrast between the pupil and the iris. Now I'm taking my Kneadable Eraser and I am lightening up the area around the pupil to create a contrast between the pupil and the rest of the iris. Now I am using my 5B pencil and I'm drawing lines around the pupil and around the iris. This creates an extra level of realness. These lines can be in different patterns and different shapes, depending on how you want your drawing to look. There is no correct way to draw this. Using my medium blending stump, I am blending out those lines that I drew around the pupil and around the iris. By blending these lines, it creates a smooth transition between the coloring of the iris and the line surrounding the iris. It creates extra depth. Now I am taking my Kneadable Eraser and I am creating highlights in between the lines surrounding the pupil. This creates an interesting element for the viewer of this drawing. Taking my Kneadable Eraser and I'm lightening up the bottom of the drawing, since that is facing right towards our light source, coming from the top right corner. If you need more time to lighten up your drawing, please pause the video. Now I'm taking my 6B pencil and I am darkening the top of the iris. I am using the blunt end of my pencil to put down the graphite. And for any white areas, I'm using the tip of my pencil to fill in those valleys. The reason for darkening this area is because the light source goes right past this area. However, light reflects downwards and it makes the bottom area lighter. Since I darkened the top of my iris, I'm taking my 6B pencil to darken up the lines surrounding the pupil. These are touch-ups to make the drawing stand out. This step is optional, since this is personal to my drawing. If this does not pertain to you, you can move to the next step. Using my 4B pencil, I am darkening the top lid and bottom lid surrounding the iris. Blending stump, I am blending the top and bottom eyelids. Taking my 4B pencil and I am darkening the top lid. Now I am blending the graphite that I put down onto the paper. Now I am darkening the crease above the eyelid with my 4B pencil. Now I am darkening the middle of the crease with a 6B pencil, since it is the darkest point of the crease. This is the darkest point on the crease because the ends fade out. Now I'm taking my large blending stump and I am blending this area. The reason I'm using the largest blending stump is because this line is thicker than the previous lines drawn before. Now I'm going over the entire crease with a 6B pencil. However, I am applying less pressure towards the ends as the crease fades. Now I'm taking my large blending stump and I'm slowly moving the graphite around. By blending this crease, it creates a sense of realism. Now I'm doing some touch-ups to my drawing. I'm blending and I'm soon going to be using my Kneadable Eraser to make the crease thinner. If you are happy with what your crease looks like, you can move on to the next step. Now I'm taking my 6B pencil and I'm applying an even layer of graphite to the top eyelid. lighter since it directly faces towards the light. However, I like to create this area darker so it will stand out. However, I gradually get lighter as I go to the left. Now I am blending this area smoothly. Now I am taking my 4B pencil and I am applying graphite to the paper with my blunt end of my pencil. Then I will use the tip of my pencil to fill in any white areas. Now with my large blending stump, I will blend the top, crease, and the lid. Now I am using my large blending stump and I am moving around the previous graphite that was put on the paper and I'm applying it to the middle. This will be the lightest part of the drawing since this is where the light directly hits. And now to really accentuate that this is the lightest part of the lid, I'm using my Kneadable Eraser to pick up any graphite that is not needed. Taking my 4B pencil and I'm applying an even layer of graphite to the corner of the eyelid. By adding a layer of 4B pencil, it creates a smoother transition between the lighter and darker values. And since this is going towards the left, it gets darker. Now I'm blending this area with a large blending stump. I'm using a large blending stump because it allows me to smoothly transition between the lighter and darker values along the eyelid. Now we are moving on to the lower lid. I'm starting out with my 2B pencil and I'm applying an even layer of graphite to the lower lid. I'm using the blunt side of my pencil to put down the graphite. And for any spots where the graphite was not fully distributed, I will use my tip of my pencil to get into those little spots. my 4B pencil and I am applying an even layer of graphite to the lower lid. Since I already put down a layer of 2B and now I'm using a layer of 4B, this creates a layering method, starting with lighter values and getting darker. This creates smoother transitions. I did not do this on the top eyelid to save time. However, if you did this, that's an amazing method and continue to do so. Now I'm picking up my 6B pencil, and in the top corner, I am applying a layer of 6B pencil on top of the 4B pencil. This is a layering method, and it provides smooth transitions between the different darker and lighter values. Now I am blending these values together. Taking my Kneadable Eraser and I am picking up some of the graphite that is on the lower lid in the front. This is because light reflects downwards, meaning this would be the lightest portion of the lower lid. Now I'm using a large blending stump to blend together this lower lid smoothly. However, if you are happy with your transitions between your values on your lower lid, please move to the next step. Now I'm taking my 2B pencil to darken the waterline of the eye. Now I'm taking my HB pencil and I'm applying an even layer of graphite to the sclera of the eye, or the whites of the eye. This creates a sense of realism and depth. Now I'm slowly blending this area. Now I'm taking my 6B pencil to darken the eyelid. And now I'm blending. Now I'm taking this same 6B pencil and darkening the front of the eyelid. Now I'm taking my large blending stump and I am slowly moving the graphite around to blend. Now I'm using my medium blending stump to blend the small area at the middle of the top lid. Taking my large blending stump to blend the lower lid to make everything look smooth. Now it's time to get started on drawing the eyelashes. I'm using a sharpened 5B pencil and I'm starting in the corner of the top lid. These eyelashes will be facing downwards and the eyelashes will gradually get higher as we go towards the middle of the top lid. As we approach the middle of the top lid, these eyelashes are the most curviest eyelashes and they have the most volume. Now I'm filling in the white areas between the lashes with my HB pencil to create a fuller top lid. of the eyelashes that are in the middle, so I am creating a longer stroke coming from the eyelid to create more volume. At this point, I'm just trying to make my eyelashes look as realistic as possible, so I'm switching off between my 5B and HB pencil to create a full top lid. If you are satisfied with how your eyelashes look, you can move on to the next step. Starting to draw the lower eyelashes. I am drawing these eyelashes more curvier since they are facing downwards, and these eyelashes are less fuller. So I'm using a harder pencil, which is a 3B, rather than on the top, where I used a 5B. The 5B pencil is softer, therefore thicker, which means it takes up more space than a 3B pencil, which is harder. Additionally, on the top lid, I used an HB pencil, which created even more fullness to the top lid. But on this lid, I'm only using a 3B pencil, which makes it less fuller. Now using my 4B pencil, I'm darkening the space between the crease above the eyelid and the eyebrow. I'm using my 4B pencil and I'm applying an even layer of graphite. A 2B pencil since my shading is going to get gradually lighter, and I'm applying a layer next to the 4B layer. Now I'm using my 4B pencil to fill in any areas where there are white spots to have a smooth layer of graphite. This step of filling in all of the uneven shaded areas and blending is a very lengthy process. So go at your own pace and unpause this video when your drawing is smoothly shaded. Now that our drawing is fully shaded, we are going to start on the final step, which is the eyebrow. I'm drawing the form of the eyebrow, and there is no particular right or wrong shape on how to draw an eyebrow. It is up to your liking. For me, I like to draw my eyebrow with a curved shape at the beginning, and then I like to draw lines coming off from that, facing upwards. And then I like to draw those lines, then connecting, facing downwards, and then coming to a point. Now I'm taking my HB pencil and I'm applying an even layer of graphite to the eyebrow. This is because I do not want any white spots on my eyebrow. I'm taking my large blending stump and I'm blending this first layer of graphite that is on my eyebrow. Now I'm being extra cautious and I'm taking the tip of my pencils to fill in the areas where the graphite was not evenly distributed. If you are happy with how the first layer of graphite looks on your eyebrow, you can move on to the next step. However, right now I'm going to be blending. Now it's time to draw the eyebrow. I'm using a sharpened 5B pencil and I'm drawing the eyebrow hairs in the direction that the shape of the eyebrow flows. At the beginning, the eyebrow hairs curve upwards. Then they